I want to begin with a quote from Rabbi Sachs. So Rabbi Sachs says that faith is the courage to live with uncertainty. And we are certainly in uncertain times. And we're in times where we as a people are suffering. We're suffering all over the world. And most recently, we're suffering along with the families of the hostages who were murdered in Gaza just a few days ago. Many of us listen to the eulogies, and we're feeling the pain of being a Jew in our days. So in this week's Torah portion, Shoftim, Moses is telling the Jewish people to pursue justice. The famous saying, "Justice, justice shall you pursue," which is an injunction for us today. And we are. In our different ways, we're pursuing justice. And at the same time, perhaps, it's creating disunity amongst the Jewish people. And this is something we should be mindful of and try to not allow to happen. In this week's Torah portion, we are also taught not to consult with fortune tellers and sorcerers and people in witchcraft and people who divine the future. That is not something for us to know. We cannot know what is to come. So when we live in a world of uncertainty and we live with so much pain and suffering all around us, what is there for us to do? The question isn't, how could this happen, which we all ask. Perhaps the more pressing question is, what do we do now? How do we live in these uncertain times, not knowing what the future will bring? And so in this week's Torah portion, there is a sentence where Moses tells the people that we must walk wholeheartedly with God, tamim. And perhaps that's something to be mindful of. What does it mean to be tamim, to be wholehearted, to be in relationship to God, to not fear the future, to have hope for the future, to know that we are not going to know what's going to happen until it happens, that we are not to predict the future, and we are to pursue justice, and we are to pursue wholeheartedly a relationship with God which is pure, where we recognize God is with us. And as we enter into the month of Elul, where we understand God is closer than God is at other times, where, so to speak, God is in the field, close to us, that we can let God in and we can hold on to God, that we can connect our holy neshamas, our holy souls, connect back to who we are, connect to God wholeheartedly, understanding that God is with us and therefore have no fear. And yes, the world's uncertain, and yes, there's pain and suffering, and yes, we have to share the load with each other, and yes, we have to pursue justice, and yes, we have to do the work, each one of us individually and as a people, so that the future is a future filled with peace and goodness and love.